Welcome back to the Kickback Lounge podcast. My name is Drew Young, and I'm here with my co-host today, Kenny Brown, in the building.
What's going on?
And we got Mr. Brad Taylor, a.k.a. Trickey the Barber, in the building.
Yo, what's good?
Once again, we're going to get into some good topics. You already know we got some controversial stuff, maybe. We got some normal stuff. Some game, a lot of game getting kicked today, but make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to the podcast. First, we'll start with a little bit of haircut, question. We got a good question for you.
Yeah, we were talking about this off the podcast.
Okay.
We had a question for you related to haircuts in the city of St. Louis. It doesn't have to be limited to St. Louis, but what do you consider like the most iconic staple haircut?
The fade.
The fade, yeah, I said the bald fade.
That's what we were thinking, yeah.
Hands down. It's funny. This is y'all first question. I felt like I was gonna get ambushed. I didn't know.
Nah, we keep it. We start light. We start light, and then we get ambushed after.
This is like, I wish this was like, we had shots or drinks or whatever. Yeah. But no, I was just, I go back and forth between St. Louis and California, Missouri and California, cutting hair. St. Louis and LA, every other week, and I get a lot of people from other cities coming into my barbershop out there. Okay. And it was a guy from Philly. He sat down and he wanted a fade. And I was like, oh, snap. I was like, he was going home. I said, I know I got to do this right. Because there's this subliminal thing with the fade between St. Louis and Philly barbers. Like, who does the best fade? Okay. You got to think back think back to Fresh Prince. Okay. Okay, so Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was on TV.
High top fade?
Yes, high top fade, skin fade, just a fade, period. You get that blend to disappear. Right. Philly was like they had it. Will Smith was, he was rocking with it. So there were other cities, but then there was something about people would say when they traveled, people would be like, oh, you must be from St. Louis. I can tell by your haircut. Okay. Like when people go to Vegas or other cities, they'd be like, oh, you must be from St. Louis. And people come back to the barbershop like, man, I don't know how many people knew I was from St. Louis, man. They looked at my haircut. So I would say the fade is the most iconic.
What is it about the St. Louis fade versus the Philly fade? What's the difference?
The difference, there's the thing. I don't think they're, for me, and I'm one dude. I'm one dude, is my opinion. Stop, whatever the internet says is my opinion. I don't think there's a difference between the two fades. I think they both kind of right there on the line of us trying to be like, okay, boom. Like, now you go to fades in other cities. You can go to, give me the Boosie fade. Yeah. And it just kind of like, you get those in other cities, but I just think something about that Philly and Midwest, St. Louis is something about that.
We talked about, we were texting back and forth about that Philly, like, they do that white chalk. What's going on with that, man?
What's with that, man?
Dude. Oh, fuck me. I did this I got a whole video. My daughter will have a ball when she goes through my phone when I'm no longer here. Because I record so much stuff that I don't put out. And I recorded a video about that, this white line. I have no idea what area started
It's a weird trend, isn't it?
Well, it's a trend, but let me tell you, this is, once again, I'm going to start all this again. I got to keep going back. This is just my opinion. Mm-hmm. This is where I think that started. Okay. As a barber, when you're about to do an edge up, you want to go in, you want to clean all of the dirt, oil, you want to clean the area off. Right. So you're going to take some form of
like the alcohol,
astringent. Hopefully your barber uses alcohol. That's a whole nother subject.
It dries your skin out, right?
Dude, barbers, you're not supposed to use alcohol on skin. They should have taught y'all that in barber school. That's to clean your tools and your implements, not to put on skins and open wounds. Stub it. That's what astringent is for. All right, but back to the chalk thing. All right, so you want to clean that area off. Once you clean that area off, those skin cells are going to dry and, kind of mix with people's body chemistry. So it may look like dirt or ash. Mm-hmm. So then when you come in and your clippers are nicely lined up and everything is perfect and you get that crisp, you'll see that little white line based off of dead skin cells, dry astringent, the oils, things like that.
Right.
You get that white line naturally when you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that guys would have a crispy lineup and it would be so neat. They would just take the picture right then so that they can show the definition of the lineup.
Right.
But I can almost believe that their clients weren't leaving the barbershop that way.
Right.
They would just do that to post these pictures to show you that their lines are straight with their edges. Somehow, some way, y'all done took it to, I want the white pencil.
TikTok.
Let me get that line.
That's that
Dude,
TikTok, man.
That is
that
the
line.
dumbest. That is worse than the chicks with eyelashes. That is the dumbest shit. Stop
Man.
doing the white. If you're barbers and you got somebody leaving your shop like that, then you stop posting it.
I feel like what happened is somebody had it on TikTok. Maybe like you said, they left the barbershop with it.
Yeah.
And then they were like dancing on TikTok and it went so viral that like that's your identity now. So every time there's one, I forget the dude from Philly that like he's a dancer or something on TikTok.
Yeah.
And like he always got that white line in. And it's
Always.
like to me that's just ugly. But
Hey, stop that shit. That's the weirdest. I don't know.
yeah, no, but I want to ask you, like, is there any like barber trends that you're either like hyped about or you're not messing with going around?
Yeah. This is gonna sting. I love this. I love the fact that I'm blessed and I'm fortunate enough to be able to go back and forth between two different regions and meet with people that come from all over the world. And it's funny because customers have this universal language that barbers don't speak.
Okay.
This number system, the number gang.
Uh-oh.
What camera? All right. Camera number 1. Listen to me. As barbers, we don't speak a universal language when it comes to number 1 on the sides. Let me get a 2. Let me up to a 3.
Man, I made that mistake.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. When I first started out, but I learned quick because you told me.
Yeah, and I told you, and we had the conversation, and it was just kind of like, I'm that guy. We're in that age, man. Just show me a picture. Show me a picture of what you want.
Yep.
Because what's gonna happen, and this happens, and I can say this because I'm between regions. I know. I'm not just saying this. This shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get a guy that's gonna tell me, yeah, normally I get a number 3 on the side, and now I'm gonna pick up my number 3, and then I want to cut his hair.
Oh man.
And everything is gonna be cool because I did exactly what you asked me to do.
Yep.
The number 3 on the sides. And without fail, 98.9% of the time, you're gonna say, can you go a little lower? Why is that? That is because there are no universal, with so many different manufacturers of tools and products out there.
Yep.
There can be a number 3 blade. There can be a number 3 guard. You can be using a wall. You can be using Andes. You can be using Oasters. You can be using Bevel. These are all different brands. Babyliss. These are all different brands and manufacturers of clippers.
Man.
And they're going to have their own. This is kind of like cars. You know, you can't just walk into the auto parts store and say, I need a headlight.
Yep.
I need a headlight for a car.
Yep.
They gonna say, well, what kind of car are you using? What kind of car you driving? Then you have to break it down. What model? What year? What specific? They gonna ask you the engine size.
And now I realize, because you explained to me, like, it's almost like, so we had a fighting coach on the podcast a while back. Shout out Eric. And he was saying one disrespectful thing people do when they get into the gym, and they might not even realize it. Once they start training, like 2 weeks in, they're like, hey, when can I get my first fight? That is a disrespectful thing to say to a coach. When you say, let me get a 2 on the side, 3 on top or something, when you say that to a barber, that's disrespectful to him.
It's disrespectful because this is why, and I thank you for saying that. I didn't say it.
I didn't know.
But Drew said it. This is why it's disrespectful. Because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's why you're here in the chair. That's why you're here in the chair. You don't know what you're talking about.
Nope.
Facts.
I mean, if that were the case, you would go to Walmart and get your clippers, and you would be sitting at home with your 2 and your mirror, and you'd be like, I got this shit down pat.
That's the world I was coming from, because I'd never got my hair cut like professionally. Like I would just like do it at home. And
I've made that mistake though. I've gotten that $12 haircut. No, I guarantee it. No, going to a new barber, I just wanted to get my hair cut down. But in my eyes, I'm like, hey, can you cut my hair down? You know, something low. In my eyes, I'm thinking like a small fro.
Okay.
This man cut me down to like,
because you said cut it down.
Bro, he cut me down.
Cut it down.
I mean, it was all the way gone.
How long ago was this?
This was like maybe 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay, so we're talking like 2020. I know for a fact iPhones were around. There was the internet, there was Google, there was YouTube, there was all this shit. Where you could pull up a picture. This is easy.
Pull the picture up.
Just pull the picture up.
That should just pull the picture
Just
up.
like when you go on to get that headlight, just show them a picture of your car. Just
Show
say
them which one
that
you
one,
need.
that car right outside.
Yep.
Now,
because you guys are the artist.
so
you are the artist. So it's like show me what to paint.
So now the whole picture thing. This is where I believe, as a barber, 30 some years in the game.
Yeah.
This is where I believe that whole thing came from. Before there were cell phones.
Yeah.
Before there was the internet. We have this barber chart that hangs. You go to barbershops now and you see it.
Iconic.
Almost every barbershop got it. I think because it sits by my station.
Yeah.
People that's come in my chair, the only people in the barbershop that use it. They're the only people. You
Okay.
may get a couple of little kids and be like, "Oh, I want to go over there and see it." But for the most part, nobody in most barbershops looked at that fucking chart anymore.
No.
It
Yeah.
just exists because
It's iconic, man.
it's iconic. It's like
It's
the
iconic.
barber pole.
Yeah.
It's,
Exactly.
It's like, you know,
you walk into a China restaurant, you see the same pictures.
boom. The same
The
pictures.
same in St. Louis. I can only speak for St. Louis, but
Bingo.
you walk into any
Chinese
spot,
restaurant, you get the same pictures.
same exact pictures of the food.
They won't even have that on the menu.
But
Right,
why-
right. They don't even sell it no more.
You might get lucky. You might
Right.
get lucky, dude. But that's the thing. You look at that shit and you be
That's
like,
facts.
that's what I want.
That's
So
facts.
when you open that box up, that's what you hoping to see. So where I think that came from is when guys would see that the old guys would see that picture on the wall,
Yep.
and they would finally get the chance. You know, you sit there for 30 minutes in the waiting area, you're
Yep.
looking, you're kind of
Yep.
like, reading magazines. You're like, what do I want? How do I want to look?
You know what I mean?
So then you finally sit down, the barber cape you up. Hey, how's it going today, man? Pretty good. What are we doing today? I think I'm gonna have the number one. Boom. Barber looks over at the number one. Got it. I know exactly what he
to
wants.
do.
That's where I think that shit came from.
Yep.
Now back then, there was only one chart. Every barbershop had the same chart.
One
Yeah.
general chart.
So
bro.
when you went around,
Yeah.
the number one. Okay, boom. I want the number two. Boom. And you got those haircuts.
Right.
Now, here I am. I cut in West Hollywood. I cut people, dude, I'm talking all over the world. All over the world. I'm talking. These customers speak a universal language that us barbers don't speak. It's like they got a code. Every customer that sits down, yeah, let me get a 2 on the side, number 3, blah, blah, blah. But again, on the top, just about 6 or 7, and they got all these numbers figured out. And as most of these barbers gonna say, you got a picture you can show me?
Yeah.
Show me a picture.
I mean, I'm glad I know that now, because I come from the world of like either cutting my own hair or like having somebody at home cut it for me. Like, and you get the numbers, like the number 1, number 2, but like you told me, it's different.
Here's another thing. You was talking about fades.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you know the difference between
I'm
folks
like,
gonna be
like,
okay.
We gotta get into
Because I was gonna
this.
say I have.
We gotta get into this too, because I
Okay,
want
cool.
you.
It's natural,
He's
bro.
pretty much scared to get his hair cut,
Oh, dude.
It's not
because he
that I'm
hasn't had it
scared.
done like how you need it done.
Like I said,
that's what I'm
I think we
saying.
touched on this last time. It's like it's like you have to have a barber that understands what your head looks
Are
like.
you tender-headed?
What your no.
Okay.
I've always had braids. I've always had long hair.
Okay, gotcha.
So my mom, my mom was a beautician. We
You said
talked
he
about
had
this
a
last
big
time.
head
Yeah, I
too.
remember, yeah.
My mom used to always pull. My hair is just always had somebody
Gotcha.
working on it. But like my thing is this: it's like as a man, like getting a bad haircut is possibly the worst feeling of your entire life, and that shit will honestly traumatize you if you get a
Facts.
bad
It's
haircut.
certain shit that, it gives you anxiety. Y'all want to know something fucked up? It's so crazy. I'm a barber. I am a barber. I've been a barber for a long time.
Yeah,
I can't sit in the barber chair.
That's kind of fair though.
What is it?
I feel like that's fair.
What
I don't
is
know.
it?
I don't know.
It's like a chef
If,
cooking.
it's something about when you put the cape on me.
Okay.
I will have an anxiety attack. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You start going, let me get the number 2 on the side.
Dude, I started sweating. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I literally to the point where I don't know what it is. So it's to the point now where my boy Joe, all them in the shop would cut my hair, and I would just, if you put the cape on me, you couldn't tighten it up. Just, I don't know if you
keep it loose. Keep it loose.
Just put it on me, but I don't know. It was something about sitting in that chair. Maybe I need to talk to my therapist about that shit. Maybe it's something about doing this shit all day.
Yeah.
And then finally turning around and having it done to me. Right. Mm-hmm. I was just like,
don't feel right.
Hey man, I gotta go outside.
It might just be like a chef, like somebody else cooking for a chef.
Like we were talking about, like it's an artistry, and like the thing is, like you even have people like who are in art, painters and artists and drawers, and they won't even go and look at other pieces of art. Christopher Nolan doesn't go see a Tarantino movie very often. It's one of those things.
Now, dude, y'all fucking killing me. These segues are perfect. This is perfect. Because now, with all that being said, talking about the artistry and anxiety, there's this thing that some people do in the barbershop, depending on how you get your hair cut and how it's set up, to where people cannot wait until you're finished to see. They got to check in the mirror, and every time you turn them around, they're looking. Mm-hmm. And my analysis is this. When you go to a restaurant, and you sit down and you order, and your waitress take your order, and you come over, and it's probably about a good 10, 20 minutes, hopefully 20-something minutes before your food get there. How many times, how many people have gotten your ass up and went to the kitchen to check on your food and see what it looked like before they're done cooking it?
Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
That's facts.
You gonna wait until your shit get there to the table. You gonna take a look, and if it's not right, then you may say you gonna taste it, and then you at the end when the presentation has been presented to you, like, okay, I'm done.
Yep.
The artist, the chef in the back,
let him cook.
Yep.
Let him cook.
Bro, you're speaking facts because it's
like cook,
bro, and you can tell if people are not raised right too. Or like if they haven't been, I'm speaking because like if they haven't been raised in that environment, like they will do that. Damn, this shit, look, damn,
it's taking too long. But now think about it.
Now, like, what's going on?
Have you ever worked in a restaurant?
No, but I've worked in service, like, as far as I worked in retail. So I work retail, stuff like that. So
okay,
like, I understand.
Excluding you from this, you worked in restaurants, I have too.
Yep.
Tell these people, if you go in the kitchen, you probably not gonna want to fucking eat what you see them cooking.
Absolutely not.
You're not gonna want to. That
see how the food's
chef
made
in the back, you gonna see him wiping his sweat.
Some fall on the ground.
Some fall on the ground. They gonna pick it up that same tile. That same towel.
I can't eat out.
Wiping his hands.
I can't eat out no more.
I'm
done, Tricky. I'm done.
Oh, dude, somebody gonna cough. Remember, he gonna cough. He coughing in his sleeve.
That's if he lucky.
Some got his hands wet. So what he gonna do? Wipe his hands right there. Dude, you're gonna be in the fucking back disgusted. But when it come out to you, you're gonna be like, oh my God, it's Ruth Chris. You had Ruth Chris like,
damn, this shit's good, right?
Can I get some garlic butter?
You're right.
Can I get some mushrooms and saute? It's delicious. Damn. You didn't watch him prepare it. All you know is that presentation, when it finally came, you were happy. Treat your barbers, your beauticians, and your nail techs the same way. Don't sit there and tweak and keep doing all this. Let them feel it. Let the artist
100%,
present the art at the end, and then you can be an asshole and critique it.
When I was 16, I used to work at Steak and Shake, and I worked there for like a couple months, and then I ordered like some food. I ordered a shake, and I got one of the shakes, and it was something hard in there, and it was just a strawberry shake, so it wasn't supposed to be anything like that's solid. And I was like, I'm never again.
Dude, y'all don't remember this old place called Shoney's. That's how I'm showing my age, man. Shoney's was like, Shoney's used to box with Denny's.
Only St. Louis?
Mm-hmm. Fuck no. Shoney's was like, dude, when you took a road trip, your family had to stop at Shoney's. They had like the buffet. They was like the buffet, all you can eat.
Like a Waffle House
dude,
type.
No, it was like
all you can eat?
Just all you can eat, like a buffet.
Ponderosa?
Yeah, Ponderosa. It was like breakfast, whatever. Okay. They just piled it up. Pancakes, sausage. So Shoney's was like when I say they would box with Denny's, it was like you imagine McDonald's and Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
So you had Denny's and Shoney's.
IHOP, Denny's.
Bingo.
Like how it is now.
Bingo. So if Denny's was on this exit, you drive up a couple of miles, you got a Shoney's. So I used to work at Shoney's when I was like 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
Little kid, busting tables, and then I moved my way up to the kitchen. I saw this waitress and this dude that worked there in the dry storage.
Oh, God.
That's all I got to say about that.
I heard it used
Dude, and it was like from that moment on, I never ate at Shoney's again. And I was always leery about when I would go to restaurants. So my wife would tell you right now, I don't fuck with buffets. I think it's because I got anxiety from Shoney's.
That's a fair point though.
Dude, if we go to buffets, I'd be like, nah, I'm ordering off the menu.
Because you got to think too, like how the hell do you have you cooking crawfish? Hokkaido is the one that's on Limburg.
Ah, yeah, dude, I don't miss
I had squid there one time.
Bro, it's like how you cooking? You cooking crawfish over here. You got steak over here. You got chicken over here. You got desserts over here. Like,
I will say this. I don't even know how to say this without everything got to be politically correct. But
hey, we let it fly on this show.
I will say this about the Pacific Islanders and the Asian communities and the chefs that I know. Their kitchens are very, very. It's not like what I grew up in, what I'm used to.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like it's a discipline that I've never really seen. It's like, damn, and it makes me like I ain't supposed to be back here. I ain't sanitary. What I'm doing back here looking, and so I those kitchens, even those buffets, I know I can't say I know for a fact, but I've seen where they keep that separate. They do not mix those.
They're pretty good about.
They got like chickens over here, and you don't put. If that's the knife, they got certain color knives that you can use.
Which is surprising. Tokyo, Japan, is the most populated city in the entire world, and those shops. I mean, you don't really see like that cross-contamination and stuff like that a lot because it's like they really do keep it clean. They keep things separate. So, I mean,
it's all raw and everything, but they they make sure.
There was one time I had squid at Hokkaido's. And for those of you
that's your fault. That's I
know. I had to try it.
It's like buying sushi at 7-Eleven.
Exactly. For those who don't know, we live in Missouri. There is no squid anywhere near this state.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, squid.
I learned my lesson, man.
The closest you supposed to get to the closest you supposed to get to squid in St. Louis is some fucking calamari.
Which I like calamari.
Squid anywhere to be found for miles.
Yeah, but you can't tell nobody that it's squid.
Right.
It's calamari.
Exactly.
That's fucked up. You go to the restaurant
imported
with kids and you go order calamari and dip it.
Fresh imported.
Say delicious. What it is.
So I was gonna ask you. You made this post on social media about. You said this life isn't for everybody.
No, yeah.
And obviously you're talking. I don't know if you're talking about like barbering, traveling, entrepreneurship. Can you break that down for me?
I was speaking when I made that post. It's about barbering and traveling. I mentioned the going back and forth between states. I'm blessed and fortunate enough to hold a license in 4 states. I'm one of the only few barbers that I know who's licensed in multiple states. I know a lot of barbers in St. Louis that ain't even licensed, but I chose to do this hybrid thing because I wanted to see what else there was. There was a few years ago I was saying, you know what, I want to have some products with my name on it. And it was this dude right here.
Facts.
He was like, I talked to a lot of people. I made another post. It's like, dude, I've given away so many $1 million ideas. And I know that they're $1 million ideas because I know these people personally.
Okay.
And, I'm in on a lot of stuff. But this young guy, this could be my son.
Hey.
And he said, use your name. Your name is marketable. You should, it's kind of like, he said, when I see Paul Mitchell, he said, I think of your name like Bradford Taylor. He said, and it kind of got my wheels to going. And I was like, man, I did want to have products with my name on it. And I kept wanting to go on this mission, but I was like, why am I trying to reinvent the fucking wheel? It already exists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I opened up and I learned that, the FDA is, there's only so much shit you can put on your body that our government is going to allow.
Right.
It's all about how we mix it up and make it smell and make it look, and we can call it our own. So I went on this, okay, I can do this, and then I can go back and forth. And I saved, I sacrificed. I mean, motherfuckers buying stuff, and I normally take 2 trips a year. I didn't take trips. I was saving because I knew I had a plan, and I knew my plan would take me beyond St. Louis. It had to. Mm-hmm. I'm 48 years old, and I felt like I spent so much time in St. Louis, and it wasn't happening. And so I cut hair across from the cemetery, and I kept telling myself, those trees and those people in those graves are the only things I know that's planted here. You can move. You can get your ass up and go. So I went on this quest to be like, okay, gotta be something else. Gotta be something out there. So I started to live this life of 2 cities. You talk about duality. Yeah. I mean, my motherfucking therapist get the money worth, because it's 2 different lives in 2 different time zones. And, you know, my life in California is cutting hair in traffic. Literally. Cutting hair in traffic. Getting to know the place, getting to know the grid, working my way around and cutting hair. Every single day, I BS you not, every single day GPS takes me a different way to work.
We're going to get into that traffic thing, by the way.
Dude, imagine you going you know how you have set routines and you know, okay, I'm going to go this way. But I also know that GPS is smarter than me. So it's going to route you a different way because it knows sometimes. But for the most part, it knows, okay, there's a slowdown that's going to keep you, so don't go this way.
Right.
You know, so it's the preachers that use that. Oh, yeah, Jesus is GPS in the church.
Yeah.
No, but so I started, you know, going back and forth. Man, I took a lot of heat from people who couldn't live this life of being away from their family.
Both worlds, yeah.
Well, it's the both worlds. I think a lot of us live in this duality, and we really don't admit it. I mean, because you're not the same person at work than you are with your boys.
We're all actors on a stage.
We're all actors on a stage, my boy. So you live in this, you're dual. You live in a dual existence anyway. Yeah. But for me, it was being away from my family, and most importantly, away from my wife. Yeah. And I'm around a lot of married people. Yeah. So people were like, you know, I would get, you know, wives. Oh, your wife let you do this and do that, and I would be so frustrated. First of all, how would I sound if I came up to you and was like, your wife let you wear your husband let you wear them eyelashes. Mm-hmm. Your husband let you wear them pants that tight. And I would sound like an asshole back. I would sound like I'm 1920s husband saying how do your husband let you do something. You would be so fucking offended.
Yep, that's making a comeback.
I'm a grown man and I should be able to I live my own life. So that was the whole thing. I would have to dead this conversation right there. It's like, first of all, my wife don't let me do a motherfucking thing. My wife understands me and she supports me.
Right.
My wife knows if I stay in one place too long and I get this kind of like where it's just not going, then ain't like sitting in that fucking barber chair. Maybe that's what it is. Sitting still and being covered. She knows if I'm sitting still too long, ooh, boy, this fireworks gonna pop off. And I'm not a violent person, but I'm just like, just
got that itch.
I'd be all over the place. So she knew. She's like, okay, if I know one thing, this man right here will make some shit happen. And when I showed my wife, you know, everything, our lifestyle is comfortable, everything was taken care of, and I was like, look, I saved money, you know. I mean, putting money away in shoeboxes and safe, and, you know, I had like a little chipmunk stash and nuts, and I was like, I got all this money. Go and do this so I can live out there. There used to be this advice from old guys, you know. My grandfather my grandfather gave me some wonderful advice, but that was probably not so good. You know, my grandfather was, you know, you want to pick a woman, pretty woman, one you can wake up next to every day, you know, one you can just, you know, one you can have by your side, blah, blah, blah. People used to say that. And then I used to think about like, and so after this point being on number 3, and my wife is fucking gorgeous, you know, of course I could be, you know, see somebody I could wake up next to every day.
Yeah.
But you have to pick somebody that you can't live without. Mm. You know, you got to think about it. So if you in that situation, and we everybody gonna go through breakups, and then if you go through a breakup, and it may be a couple months, it may be a year or so, but if it's like, damn, you know, my life she was just so much better for me, and I ain't just talking about stalkerish and shit, but if you just start looking at them, and you start dating other people, and then, you know, you dating other people like, man, this girl's a waste of fucking time. You know, and you with somebody and all you thinking about is the ex, and not so much you just thinking about, like, you would go to dinner. Every time you go to, you know, certain places, you go to restaurants, and it's just kind of like, yeah, man, I remember we used to do this and blah, blah. So then what you start doing is you start trying to build a new normal. So now you want to do new shit and different shit because you don't want to do the same stuff you did with the ex. But that ain't you. That ain't your normal. So then when you start feeling a certain way, it's kind of like, So I say, when it comes to that, first of all, I told y'all last time to get the stamps in your passport. So
That's
hopefully you know, you're exploring. Don't look at it like exploring your options, but there are other cultures that we were just talking about that with fucking haircuts.
Right.
Okay, so you think about it with just, there are other cultures who treat people different.
Yeah.
And it's not so much about race, it's just a cultural thing. You know, they just treat people different. There are women who treat men different than what we've grown up around.
Right, right.
And women, there are men from other cultures that treat women different than what we've, you know, you talk about how our societies grew up without a lot of men in the home. So just think about a lot of things that we weren't taught, you know, masculinity, you know, we kind of had to watch off TV.
Right.
You know, your generation is totally different in my generation. I just heard something. It was kind of talking about this, but it was like, if we didn't have a father in the home, there was at least 2 dads on our street. He may have been a fucking asshole or a drunk, but there were 2 dads on our street. So other than Dr. Huxtable, James Evans, Uncle Phil, you know, we actually had somebody tangible to look up to. And we could see how he treated his kids and his wife.
Right.
You know, we saw that. Now, we got the backstory from our friend, the son, or whoever, like, man, my daddy, blah, blah, blah. You know, we could laugh about that. I mean, he cursed me, my dad. Blah, blah. But all we saw was, man, I ain't got that. Well, I ain't got that dude in the house.
It's like The Outsider. I don't know if you ever read The Outsiders or watched the movie, but like, it was that kid that like kept getting beat by his dad, and then the other kid's like, well, at least you got one.
At least you got one. Yeah, he was like, he wanted what they had so bad, and it was like, it was always so into marriage. That's another thing. You have to, man. Y'all got it hard, dude. Y'all generation got it, because y'all got social media.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We get social media and a lot of messaging, especially with marriage nowadays. I heard some great advice on marriage, and we get a lot of terrible advice as well. Somebody goes, like, the messaging we get as men now is like, it's just risky to get married because, like, you know, women are more incentivized in marriage with like divorce and everything. So they could just take half your shit if they want to leave. But there's also messaging out there that says it's riskier not to get married.
That's a lot of miseducation and misinformation.
And these people just don't know.
When you start talking about half in marriage and first of all, when people say shit like that, they usually don't have half of shit to take.
No.
So, you know, is somebody gonna take you half of you something? Then you have to be married for a certain amount of time. Every state has a different statute of how long you have to be married to establish a certain lifestyle. You have to prove, you have to show proof that this person has provided you a certain lifestyle for so long that you could not do without them. So if you meet a woman and let's say you stacking 80 racks a year and she's stacking 120, first of all, she don't want shit from you.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
And
you can't do anything for her.
At the end of that divorce, the one thing that she wants is to get the fuck away from you.
Absolutely.
So the last thing she's trying to do is prolong that shit and take half of anything you got. She's like, dude, it's over. Boom. We out. So when people start talking about that, your woman gonna take half of something, that's somebody that ain't got shit.
Yeah.
And then furthermore, if you a man about your shit and you've established some things and you put things down and you've asked, let's say tables are turned.
Yeah.
Let's say you got this young lady and you making 120 and she making 80.
Yeah.
And y'all decide to split. Whatever the reasons are, I'm not the type of man, I don't want to see a barefoot and out in the street.
Right.
I want to make sure you can go on and do what you need to do comfortably. If there's any kids involved, then you want to make sure, okay, you're going to get what you need. If it's half, then I'm going to have to give you half. But, if otherwise, look, most usually men, we get fucked out the house. You want to know why men get fucked out the house in divorces?
Because they cheated?
No. You want to know why they get no? It's not because they cheated. This is why men get fucked out the houses in divorce. So y'all listening? Hey fellas, once again, I'm on number 3. Wives, houses. This is why you get screwed out of your house in a divorce. Because you leave the motherfucker. Because you want to go stay with the girlfriend. You want to spend nights out and you leave the house.
Yep.
And the minute you leave the house, the judge says, well, you didn't want to be there no way. Now, how you avoid that? When you get into the point where your marriage is dissolving and you feel like, oh man, I don't know this gonna work. You know how you don't lose your house? You sleep in the basement. You find a separate bedroom. Both of y'all stay in that motherfucker. I don't care if you got a girlfriend on the side or not. You tell I ain't no spending the night. I gotta go home. I go home every night. You stay in your house until that divorce and everything is negotiated, because you've proven to the judge, I ain't got nowhere else to go. She ain't got nowhere else to go. So we need to sell this motherfucker and split it.
Yeah.
Facts.
Hey, there you go.
Simple as that. I ain't giving up my house. I ain't taking it from her. We gonna sell this motherfucker and split it. But the reason men lose their house in a divorce is because they leave.
Yeah.
They leave. You go spend the night at your boy, sleep on your boy couch and you couch surfing. You've shown that, hey, you got somewhere to go. You go get a hotel for a couple of nights. You've shown, hey, you got somewhere to go. Don't leave your house.
And
Facts, bro.
you said you found someone that's understanding of who you are and your lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was going to say also, like, just real quick, off that point, going off of that, so going back to what you said about, like, our generation, how we have men in our generation have it hard. So just to give us some clarification here, I'm recently out of a breakup of 5 years.
Okay.
Known the girl for 7 months, or 7 years.
7 years. So
right. So we know each other 2 years before dating.
Y'all friends. Y'all knew each other like
we were friends.
Through mutual friend.
We were friends, and
did
then
she date somebody you knew?
No.
Okay. Cool.
Never. So. Just to give you a like, she was, like Catholic and stuff like that. We both religious. We both, took our time with stuff. You know what I mean? And we legitimately had some love. Like, we lived together for 2 years, stuff like that.
Okay, so y'all was in for real relationship.
Oh, for real,
y'all stayed together. Y'all shared some.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. But going off of that, and like where I am now, 6-7 months removed, and like me and Drew have had some of these conversations.
Still got Netflix passwords.
I mean,
not
Netflix passwords.
Netflix got changed up.
I was about to say Netflix changed up, bro.
I heard that shit. Okay, we'll get into it.
But you know what I mean, though. Like you still got the social media. You still got like the platform. So okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. Y'all whole generation.
Well, I'm 25. I'll be 26 in December.
Yeah, but it's like y'all got social media friends, so you gotta. Do you have to create a? Let me. I don't want to cut you off. So do you have to create a whole another social media persona now?
No. Because like the thing
is,
like
unfriend all of her. How does that shit work?
Not necessarily.
Do they unfriend you? I don't want to see shit.
You unfriend each other. So she unfriends me. I unfriend her.
No, but I'm talking about like her friends. Do they unfriend you?
You know
some
what
of her
about
friends?
that?
No, some of her friends kept me added.
Okay,
I don't like
that's
that.
That's because they want to know what the fuck going on. See, that's what I'm saying.
Well, actually, yeah, and they look at my story. And
so now you got to stunt.
Hold on, let me speak on this. Let me speak on this.
Go
real
ahead.
quick.
Go ahead.
So I do not fuck with that.
So glad
If
Bro, it's stressful.
if
Stressful as fuck.
my
Dude, it's
boy,
fucking stressful for me to post haircuts.
Bro, it's-
I can imagine.
Bro, it's layers.
if my
It's like
boy
lasagna.
has a girl and he breaks up and I'm following her,
yeah,
I don't even like to
it's
follow her
code.
when they're dating.
It's code. Yeah,
But-
it's code.
If y'all break up, I'm unfollowing her.
Yeah, instantly.
We all unfollowing her.
And I'm the same way. I'm the same way. So like I am, like I kept some of her friends followed because they were following me, but it got to a point where I did have to cut that. You gotta sever the
That's
cord,
just-
bro.
I
Because
just gotta fucking
have to.
chill
You got
when
to.
y'all. That's like
I'm
a
out.
crazy.
I know.
That's
I know.
a crazy
don't exist
lifestyle
anymore.
for me to even imagine to have to,
Well,
or to even think of. Here's my thing.
Go for it.
Okay,
Go for it.
you my boy.
Mhm.
You my boy. I don't want to know shit about your girl.
Yeah.
Other than
Facts.
what you come and what you
Facts.
come and you talk. I don't want to friend her. I don't want to see her pictures.
Yep.
She may be posting bikini pictures and shit
Yep.
like
This is
that.
what you want me to
Yep.
do? Like
I
it?
don't want to know your girl
Right,
like
right,
that.
right.
You
Right.
my boy. I don't want to know your girl like that. So that's why I say for me, that's a whole nother plane of existence, man. It's
Well, you
like,
got to also take into
damn.
account we're in a generation where a lot of different groups of people are taking power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And taking stands. So the thing is, like,
Y'all can't even flirt no more. You can't.
Well,
It's gonna
yeah,
be hard
and-
for you to
and
find
it's
somebody,
hard. It's
man.
hard
And we
because
getting into
I'm
this.
I'm of 3 boys. My mom
Oh.
raised 3 boys.
Oh, yeah.
3 men.
You don't touch
Right?
nobody. You don't. Yeah, boy. You can't.
And so
handle yourself.
you grow up knowing that stuff. You grow
Speak
up
on it.
learning about women and respecting women and stuff like that. And my mom even went so far as to teach us that you are the cherished person in the relationship. You are the jewel in the relationship as a man.
You supposed to be.
You're supposed to be the head. You're supposed to be. You got to think of yourself that way. You are the jewel, right?
I've
The
said
prize.
this though.
That's how I live. That's why I say this life ain't for
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah.
Because that's what I kept telling my wife.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna tell my wife, but I would
Said
tell
this
other
life ain't for everybody.
people. I
Leave
would
now.
tell, I would tell other people when they would say shit, they would be like, your wife. I'd be like, look, I'm the prize.
Okay.
And that's just
Hey,
how I was raised.
This is the
I'm
thing.
the prize.
But I fucked up.
This
because
is
the thing is, I always knew that myself, but I fucked up because it's like that last year of our relationship, I told her that. We were
Oh,
speaking.
you said I'm the prize.
and
And they
you know,
broke up.
then we broke up a couple months later. And that's my point to you, Tricky, is like, that's where I consider it being different. I played my cards right. And the thing is, like, you can play your cards right. You do this
she
right. You
raised
do
with
this
both
right.
parents.
Correct.
Okay, she raised with both parents, so she got dad in her
She
life
has a
too.
dad in
so,
her life.
And
I don't have one in mind. That's something that you can take into account.
yeah, you can because you raised by a single mother, so yeah. You
And
got
as a
whole lot
guy,
of that.
I've lived
You raised
alone
by a
since
single black
17.
mother.
I was gonna say I've lived alone since 17.
And she was a white lady.
I've had
Yeah.
3 apartments. So like my thing is like, as a man, as a young black man, there's certain struggles that you go through. And she was a white woman.
Well,
but
let me
the thing
ask
is,
you.
like, there's certain
Well,
struggles.
with that being on the table, how did her family vibe with you?
How you would expect.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had bumps in the road at first.
So here you go. So now,
Yep.
you should have led with that fucking king. You just I gotta
You gotta learn.
I had to learn, man. I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn.
this. But no. But so here's the thing about this. So that goes back to the beginning of when I say about picking somebody that you can't live without.
Correct.
Because with that person and whoo boy, with that person, everything about that person comes with them, which means everything in their family, every part of their family
Yes.
dynamic that they deal with,
Yes.
that they accept, that they
You're
bring
speaking
in,
facts,
that they're
man.
close to.
God.
Everything about them.
Yep.
If that person raises an outside child, that comes with them. If that person's a caregiver, that comes with them. So you have to accept all that shit in.
Yep.
Say it one more time for the people in the back.
The
Tricky.
issue is
Say it one more time for the people.
he's
You
saying
have
it-
to accept all of that shit that comes in. What they call it, baggage.
Yep.
Baggage. Hopefully they got some Louis, some Gucci.
And that was the deal breaker.
But
in
a
the
lot
loan
of
scheme.
time they coming with Walmart bags and
Facts.
shit like
That's
that.
facts,
but
bro.
so with that
That's
being
facts.
said,
Facts.
if anybody, let me explain this to you. If you don't get along with your significant other's parents,
It's gonna be harder.
it's not getting better. It's not getting better.
It's not.
You
I don't
can
say
watch-
it's impossible.
I ain't gonna say it's impossible, but you can watch all the. What did you say in the beginning? We're all actors on a stage.
Yeah, man.
So that dad knows this motherfucker's playing a part. I don't trust him.
Mm-hmm.
You can put on whatever role you want. I don't trust him. When he lay down in the bed at night with his wife, I don't trust the motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't care what you do, what you say, how sweet you are to their daughter.
Oh man,
he don't trust you.
And
he don't
people
trust
like me, man.
And that's facts. And the reason why is because for 2 to 3 years in that relationship, of the 5 years, I would go to a family dinner every single other weekend. I'd be at her house. We'd be playing games or watching a movie or having food.
But
then
she wouldn't come to your shit.
She would not come to my shit
wouldn't come to your
at
shit.
all. She went to one lunch with my mom. But after that too, like legitimately, the last 2 years, I've started putting my foot down because it was like, why do I need to go to these dinners and be present for all this shit?
which a lot of men won't
And
do.
they don't want
You know
me
what I
there
mean?
no way.
A lot of guys wouldn't even do that.
A lot
shit,
of men
bro.
won't do. They'll get in the marriage and they'll
But
just
like,
keep it going.
you know, because
You
I got
bail- you
promoted
bail
at
out.
work, and I'm like, I'm taking more hours now. My hours change. We don't see each other a lot. You know, I want to spend my time how I want to spend my time. I can't make every dinner, right? Once that happened,
she had you cooking.
Tricky, what happened?
Hey.
That's when the separation happened because,
Well-
like you said, it starts with the head of the household, and who was that? It was her father.
That was her dad. So
It's
she
her
can't
father.
please dad. Yeah, you know.
And if your father,
Dad want to know why you posting these pictures of you at these backyard
And-
barbecues.
yeah, and the thing is, like, as a man, like as a young man, you know, we go through these phases and we have to learn certain things. We have to basically iron sharpens iron. You have to sharpen your fucking self basically in the real world in order to become the man that you're going to be. As a father and as a guy who's already established and he's a white male and stuff like that, you know, he's already went to school and he's already like got these things
His
in his life.
preconceptions about who what certain people are.
You know, and he knows that I have learning to do as a man. He knows this, but like, you know, you got your daughter to worry about too. And she's 26, you know, and she's got to get taken care of and she's got to have kids and she's got to have structure set up for her life. And at the end of the day, although you're this guy who may be, you know, kind of good for her,
Potentially.
But she know. But
he knows as a man, he's got to find her somebody who's going to take care of her and do certain things.
Well, he don't know you. He don't know what your capabilities and what your potential.
Well,
is
that
to
too.
start. But she's also looking at it kind of like, I gotta keep shit in order.
Correct.
And
correct.
I mean, people
and
are
as a woman,
strategic.
that's hard because it's like she didn't want to give me up. Like, I mean, she still like has these things where you know.
Yeah. But she
didn't
about
want to
the
give me up
inheritance.
too.
She
But the
thinking about
thing
the
is,
inheritance. She'd rather give you up than a fucking inheritance.
correct.
You know,
Facts.
it's
correct.
kind of like
correct.
You're not
Because
worth that much.
You can't. I'm not gonna lose my family over
Bingo.
overtaking you
'Cause dad will
and that's
cut
what
me
it
off.
is. And that's what it is. You know.
Well, Tricky,
So-
I mean, you have a daughter. How do you look at that?
it's one of those things.
Well, funny you say that because here's the situation. Oh man, the first thing is, the first thing is people. Oh man, stop texting. People, people grow, people change.
And I was gonna say, I don't want to make it seem like I didn't have any mistakes whatsoever with the like
No,
as
you
a guy,
human.
you make mistakes and stuff
Yeah, you
too.
human.
You say shit and do shit, you know.
But that's
that
the thing.
you want to take back.
But
But
here's
like
the-
I just wanted to put that out
But
there.
5 years, so 5 years. So here's
Correct,
the thing.
correct.
But I would tell anybody this, any young woman, any man, this: if you're in a long-term relationship, stop holding somebody accountable for shit they did years ago.
Facts.
Years ago, because people change. You know, people, your maturity, you know, your level of maturation is beyond your imagination. So think about that. Is what I say. Your level of maturation is beyond your imagination. You have no idea how fast you're going to mature and the shit you're going to learn in 1 day, 2 days, 10 years. So the person that you are yesterday, you are not that person today. So with that being, because you become wiser, you may do something and something happens and you may be like, oh, you know what? Damn, you know, that was wrong. I shouldn't even be talking to people like that. I shouldn't do. And then you'll wise up. So the next time you're in that situation, you're not going to do that again. You're kind of like, you know what? So then somebody you met 2 weeks ago that saw you snap like that was like, yeah, man, I remember you snap. And you be like, you know, you kind of, you had a moment. You may have ate a box of fried rice or something and snapped at the man. And so, but you had a moment. You be like, you know what, man, I need to stop being an asshole to people.
And you got to think about this too, is this is their first serious relationship.
Yeah.
Both of them, they were
Both.
young.
Yeah, I was gonna say both. Like I said, we were first and stuff. So
And that one hurts the worst.
both. And I was gonna say, it does hurt
here's
the
the thing.
worst. 'Cause
So,
it's like, yeah.
so you asked me. So you asked me about my daughter. So here's the thing: as a father, I don't know his age. I don't know how old her dad was, but
A little bit older. Actually way older than you. I'm pretty
okay,
sure.
I'm 48, so
He was like 60 something.
oh shit,
60, 50.
and she was in her 20s,
50s or 60s. Yeah, they had
yeah.
child
late.
too.
Only child.
Only child.
Oh, trust me, dog. She is waiting on inheritance. Trust me. I hate to say it like that.
Yeah.
And I know people. I know people can be real.
He keeping it real, man.
But
That's what we're here for.
at the same time, man, it's like you know when I gotta get my shit together because my parents ain't gonna be around much longer.
That's
and
facts. And
this
when you're
motherfucker's
when you're
cut me off.
25, 26, around our age, and you're kind of going through
Yeah.
the motions of life, you don't really hit that position of comfort until you're like 30 something, man.
Well,
where
here's the
you're
thing.
still like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like
here's
you
the
get
thing
a
about-
house and
Here's the thing about her, and this gonna sound fucked up for
no,
for
it's
you.
probably facts. That's why.
Well, but no,
Go ahead.
but I actually love her for what she did. Because with you telling me what you've told me now, with her being an only child, first things first is her parents ain't gonna have nothing but her as they age in life. They 60, they getting ready to get there. They're not gonna have anything but her to take care of them. The longer that goes, and the animosity between, as her dad gets older, all them filters are dropping off.
Yeah.
And all that stuff that he's been sheltering saying for so long, as he gets older, he cutting loose. You don't have them babies around me. And she may not feel that way. She may not be racist, or he may not have ever shown that to you, but that's because of his restraint. He's been brought up. He's been brought up, but as you get older, and you just trust me, the older people start to feel like, because I felt like this when I turned 40. I can cuss in the room. I'm on that shit. I got grandkids. So as you get older, you start to get a little more cocky and arrogant with the shit you say.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So now, she ain't gonna want to be in the middle of that shit. She got a guy, her husband, potentially husband over here.
Yeah.
That she has to go home to, and you're the head of the household.
It's just a lot, man. Yeah.
And then she got the parents over here that she has to take care of. They're talking shit about him all day, back and forth. And she's trying to defend him. At some point, she's going to break.
Yeah, there's a breaking point.
She realized, you know what? I ain't ready for this shit right now.
Yeah.
That maybe a few years down the line, something happened.
And you can argue that that's kind of like the relation, like a situation a lot of people are in our generation fall themselves into, because it's definitely a weird space, man.
Yeah.
Like especially nowadays, it's a weird space.
We got to understand as well, as she's a woman, so at your job as a woman, especially at that 26, 25, you're looking for security. You're looking for your future.
Job.
Yep.
I don't.
He didn't say that. He didn't say your job.
Facts. No, I'm saying as like what you're looking to do is just secure your future. And a lot of times that happens through your partner.
But a lot of them, no.
They can cancel me if I want.
But that goes back, y'all generation. They're 25. And who the fuck trying to secure their future? Y'all ain't 25.
You'd be surprised.
Well, some of them. Now, you asked me about my daughters. And my daughter, okay. Yeah, take that back. At 25, okay, some of you are trying. But I know a lot of 25-year-olds out here that's just trying to chase the bag.
That's
just like,
but that's securing your future.
Goals.
That's just a different way of going about it.
Right.
That's a different way of going about it. In my opinion, that's the wrong way to go about it. I think you should build a unit first and try to get your family structure together, because I feel like the nuclear family is a very important thing.
I think what we're realizing too is, like, as young men coming up in this day and age, is like we have these ideals of how we think life should be at certain ages, just because based on our parents, just based on our parents, based on what we've seen before.
Man, you got Carl Winslow.
Man, it's just
that's
weird.
What y'all got. Family Matters.
Y'all
got
weird,
them type of.
It's weird.
I think Family Matters.
Yeah, I fuck with Family Matters. But I'm just saying, it's like TV. We have so much TV. Like guys like you and I. Was your dad in the house?
Nah,
okay. So you got the room. Three guys who grew up. Dad's not
Two
in
women
the
in the house.
2 women in the house. So we had a lot of fucking estrogen
as well. Yeah.
A lot of estrogen, and us trying to balance that based on what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say what we saw, everything that we saw was sugar-coated, jaded, and it was presented.
Facts. You're 100% right.
Y'all didn't even see this show, because by the time you all got to TV, this was offensive to have on TV, but the only real dad that we got to see on TV was James Evans, that we could relate to.
Yep.
You know, we saw dad on TV to pull his belt off.
Wait, who's James Evans?
Oh my God, who is James Evans?
Let me know.
James Evans is father on Good Times.
Okay.
JJ, Thelma, Michael. Florida's husband, James Evans.
You watch Sanford and Son?
Yeah, I'm just Sanford and Son. Hell yeah. But see, okay, here's the thing about here's a little fact about it.
Yeah, Fred Sanford.
If you see, I never watched Good Times, but if you watch Good Times, their wardrobe was based on their wardrobes are kind of based on their characters.
Okay.
And the name. So Florida, that was his mom. If you ever watch this shit, Florida always had on orange. Watch Good Times. Watch some old episodes. Damn near every episode, it was her favorite color. Florida had on orange. James always had on brown.
Yeah.
James Brown. Okay. Thelma was the colorful one. Thelma was like a box of crayon. They would put her in all different colors. Michael always wore something Afrocentric. He always had on red, black, and green. It was something based on that, something within that color, something Afrocentric. And then JJ was usually in like jeans and like this purple sweater. It was always his colors was always, so they always had the same color wardrobe.
Yep.
But I say all that to say, fast forward to the dad situation, the men growing up and shit. All we had were the male role models. So now you fast forward to this Me Too shit, and then you being single, and you guys go out. We were taught how to approach women by women of that generation.
Okay.
You know, how old is your mom?
My mom, she just turned 52.
Okay, your mom is like my age range. Your mom is probably in my age range.
Yep.
So you all were taught how to approach women based on the type of women that I grew up around. These women are more, they're independent, but they're at the same level of understanding. They want balance in life. You know, I don't want to be by myself forever.
We're also taught by the internet too. I want to add that in there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So now I'm talking about y'all mamas teaching you all how to approach women.
I didn't get that much game from my mom.
But you probably saw your mama being courted, and you kind of knew, like, okay, how you want, you know, I just want my mama to be treated. I wish my mama find a man like this, and I'll be doing this if I date a mom, you know, somebody like my mom. You know, that's how you kind of thought in your head, so you kind of patting yourself when you start picking up women.
Absolutely, yeah.
So with that being said, now you fast forward, you know, whatever game you picked up, y'all, this generation is totally different.
It's useless.
Because now you can't even say, you know, you don't know what to say. If you tell a woman that she looks attractive, you know, she may snap on you or she may call you a bitch ass nigga.
Hey, man.
You know, bitch ass. I don't need that from you. Blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of like, damn, I was just really trying to open the door, start some conversation, have a look, you know. I ain't got no game shit, but I'm trying to just say something to let you know I like you.
It's hard nowadays because, like, there is, I mean, it's probably been like this forever, but there's dudes with game, dudes without game. And like I think you learn best by trying it, failing, getting out there and actually like learning
what
the
is
game.
Though?
And I was gonna say, that's what I was gonna say. For me, like nowadays, like kids would call it like, you know, the 20-somethings call it like Riz. You know what I'm saying?
Riz is completely different.
But like for me,
I gotta explain this on the pod because
what the fuck is Riz?
You probably, I don't know if you heard Riz.
No,
but people get it wrong. People call Riz, they think Riz and game is the same. The true definition by the creator, Kai Cenat, shout out to him. The true definition of Riz is when you're talking to a girl, it's not going well. How well can you come back from that? Can you come back from a 3-1 lead, from a 3-0 lead? Jason Tatum, no Riz there because he couldn't come back from the 3-0 lead. You know what I mean? Shout out JT.
Well, I was gonna say, like, for me, I'm a laid back guy. Like that's all me, bro. Like I don't care. Like I'm the type of guy that like if you have I don't go looking for women. I don't go approaching women. I don't go hitting on women. I'm not a horn dog. Like I legitimately stay in my lane and do my thing. And I'm honestly super oblivious and shit too. So like when you throw all that into a case, into a person, I'm just not that type. And like in today's world,
out. This is strikes.
Yep.
Well, I was gonna say
strikes come across the plate all day long.
In today's world of dating,
thank you.
Especially coming off like the pandemic and stuff like that, of like people being solo and lonely and shit. It is that. It's like the opposite. It's like people want to be approached. People want to be talked to. People want to have.
But everybody thinks they're the shit.
Yeah, correct.
Women and men.
Correct.
They think they should be coming
Lots
up
of
to me.
ego.
But
But
as a man, I feel like it's your job. Women will give you this is only my opinion. Women will give you the signs. You're supposed to pick up on that signs and create action. But women do come up to you sometimes, and that's nice. But
I could be wrong, and y'all hit up the whatever the comments and let me know about this. I was always told the sign from a woman is a second look.
that's one of them for sure.
You know, or the she play with her hair.
That's one as
You know,
well.
you looking at her, she get to playing with her hair or something. So the second look and play with her hair. But a lot of us guys miss those signals because we don't know. We don't know she, patting her
Doing your
weave.
thing.
If she looking at you like, what you looking at me for? Stop looking at my ass and my leggings.
Mm-hmm.
So we miss all of those signs and we don't know how to pick it up. And the women, y'all women, I listen to the music and I would be fucking afraid.
I heard a woman say yesterday when we went out that she respects herself. And that was crazy to hear because I ain't never like that shit. I fuck with that, man.
But when she said, what did she mean? I hope
because we were talking about we were at PBR riding the and I was talking about the bull.
Okay.
And then she's like, I was like, are you gonna like you go ride the bull? Asking her like, and she like had a skirt on. She's like, nah, because I got a skirt on and I respect myself. I was like, oh, okay, a woman that respects herself in 2023. Shout out to her, bro.
Okay,
and that might get me canceled again, but hey, it is what it is.
I was gonna say,
shout out to her, bro.
It's not even it's not a gender based thing. It's not even that. It's like like I said, and I called it the empowerment like era, but it's not even the empowerment era. It's like I feel like we all have to kind of find a lane and be okay in finding that lane. The issue that I'm finding is that you can be in your lane and you go out and try to approach someone in a different lane, and there's conflict. And the thing is, like, there's a lot of conflict in different types of relationships. We get it. But what makes it so much harder in today's world, I feel like, is that we don't really know what the next person wants.
What they say, you miss 100%. 100% of the shots you don't take.
I'll say this as well, like you can pick up all the signs you want at the end of the day, but if you don't build who you are, your character, and your confidence and yourself, like
that's men and women. That's men
Here's
and women
the thing.
too.
This is what I would say.
At the end of the day, that's men and women.
This is what I would say in that situation of the lack of confidence.
Yeah.
As long as you don't put your hands on somebody, keep shooting shots. But hey,
there you go.
You gotta say something better than hey, babe. You gotta. It's not even having a pickup line. It's just
getting in the door,
getting the attention. Once you get the attention, you can say something stupid like, "I have no idea what else to say from here," but
yeah,
I saw you and.
I had to come over.
And she gonna think you the dumbest motherfucker that did. Why would you? That's gonna that she's gonna leave a mark, and then it's like, okay, you changed my number. Now you have to pick up from there.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can sustain after the initial, but it seems like your problem is the initial introduction, but you can sustain from there. But that's the thing, man. You just gotta
I'm just like he's been out with me a couple times. Like I'm not like I told him like I vibe, man, and the thing is like I pick up on energy, so that's my thing. Is like if I have an energy with you, or if like and this is for anybody, it doesn't have to be me just picking up on women or like going out to meet women, but like just meeting people. Like if I have to have a good energy and a vibe around them, and once I have that, I feel like it's fun. Like once you're having fun, I'm having fun. But like
I bet if a woman,
I can't I'm not that type of guy, bro, that like just goes out and you dress up and you just go out and just fucking put as many numbers on your wrist or something. That's just because I could do that, but it's just like for me, I just like to chill, man.
I bet if you told a woman, I don't even know how to. I haven't been dating in so long. I don't even know how to talk to women. She probably may find that attractive because she knows you're not somebody that's out hitting on somebody
all the time.
You're in your lane.
You go out.
You're in your lane, and that honestly, like we were talking about too off air, it's like. That in itself is more, like you said, more attractive or more accepting from people than just going up to them and being like, "Hey, what's your name? What's your name?"
I was telling my boy. Bro. I was telling my boy yesterday too. I'm like, he's like male model, like 6'4", like good looking dude, and like you could see like women always flirting with, like they'll go up to him. Yeah. And I was telling him like, as long as you say something, they don't care what you say, as long as you say something. But
like I said, the initial, you gonna get that first reaction will let you know she talking about.
Right, and that's all you need.
Ooh.
Like, all right, well, if you don't like me, peace. But I do wanna wrap and say, just to make sure we got enough time. Because you mentioned therapy. How important is that to you, and is that something you recommend to everybody?
Oh yeah, everybody needs some. Everybody needs someone to talk to sometimes. But no, yeah. Mental health is important, man. It was as I got into it. I won't say get into it. I really pulled myself. I was like, I gotta see somebody I gotta talk to, because just this dual existence and living in, two different.
You lose yourself in that.
Yeah, you trust me. You really become. You mean, yeah, you can. I see how spies do this shit. Let me not say. Hey, but no, real talk though. I see how. Hey, real talk. I see how motherfuckers live in two different planes of existence, man. It's just literally. Yeah, man. I literally love it. There are no complaints. I love the best of both worlds. I cut primarily, Caucasian and Asian Pacific Islanders when I'm out west, and then when I'm home, my clientele is 90% black. I mean, I do cut a lot of other races here at home, but you go back and forth, and you get so many different things in your head. So talking to somebody, man, that's important, because you got to sort all these characters out.
Right.
Yeah.
Put it on a canvas and let somebody else critique it.
And then I would say for black, honestly, for you all, this worked for me. I don't know how this worked for anybody else. You pick your own therapist based on your personal. I had to pick a female I knew it was going to call me out on my bullshit. Mm-hmm. I ain't want to pick nobody I was going to be in there cool with, fella I'm talking to, chitting, chatting. Somebody I felt like I wasn't going to trust. I wanted to talk to somebody that I knew I can just come lay everything out to, and then be like, man, you full of shit. And I'd be like, what you mean? You supposed to talk to me like that? And then, so it's very important, man.
There you go. Very. So we got Brad, Trickey, the Barber, Taylor.
And LeBron need to retire that haircut.
But not retire from the game.
That too, but.
What do you think about that, real quick? Do you think that he's...
Hold on. I got to wrap, because this one about to die.
Okay,
but where can they find you?
You can find me at Trickey_the Barber. Is underscore after each word. Trickey, TRICKEY _the Barber at Instagram. That's it. That's all I do. That and nothing else.
And if they want to get a fresh cut?
You want to get a fresh cut, you can find me at, right now, I am at First Class Barbershop in St. Louis. I am at Baxter Finley in West Hollywood, California. Look both of those up on the internet. And once again, you can just follow me on Instagram to see what's going on next and where I'm moving to, how I'm moving and shaking.
There you go. We appreciate you coming on the pod. Make sure you guys follow him, follow us at TKBLpodcast on Instagram, The Kickback Lounge. Subscribe, like, comment your thoughts on everything that we talked about today. Am I canceled? Is Trickey canceled? Did we give good advice? Did we give bad advice? Let us know. But thanks for watching.
Peace.